everybody, and welcome to this episode with Pensacola Habitat for Humanity. My name is Crystal Scott, and we're excited that you've joined us today. We are about to show you a really impactful video that we had created that just kind of highlights some things about our affiliate, and so I want you to take some time. It's about a little less than 4 minutes, so take a look, and then we'll be back with some special guests.
The reason I come out to Habitat every week is because I enjoy helping people get the new home built. I see the people who are going to benefit from my work. They're working right alongside of me. I appreciate that people are going to have a forever home. And I'd like to leave my mark in it.
I got to be here when the volunteers were actually writing some of the stuff, and it was really touching, and it's just really special to me that people would take the time out of their day to come and volunteer to do this for me. This is my first home I've ever owned. It's the home that I want my son to grow up in. And then all the way over wrapping around, there's gonna be the counters. It's just something I want to keep in the family and build on.
There's a very tangible part of building a home for somebody. We're gonna drive by for years and years and years to come and know that we were there helping to build a home for this person, and it just feels really good to be a part of that. I know I'm helping them for the rest of their life.
Right in this area where you come in the front door, and then it like the master bedroom. It's gonna be to this side. It's gonna be beautiful.
It has been very exciting, and I'm looking forward to becoming a homeowner. They have 4 peak boards that are going to be built into my home. We wrote our grandmother's name on one, my mother, my great-grandmother, and my great-great-grandmother's name on the boards, and also to God be the glory, because he's doing this for me, has opened up the door.
I think I'll get the sunlight inside my bedroom, and it's gonna be nice because I love watching the sunrise.
2022, Thanksgiving is at my house.
I love my home. It's pretty and it's safe, and those were 2 things that really mattered. Having all of our friends and family writing on the studs of our house while it was being built, it's a gem, it's a treasure. And right at the threshold, we wrote, "You'll be blessed as you come in and blessed as you go out."
I'm thankful for those messages and those people, because you kind of you don't just cover up, you kind of build on top of it. For us, it's more than just the walls, it's more than even the affordable mortgage. It's redemptive for us to have this house. It's changed our life, and I wouldn't change it for anything.
So thankful. We love it.
So much of what we do is run a mortgage company, we run a construction company, but every time we go to a closing and hand the keys to this family who have never owned a home, and most of them have never lived in an owned home before. So it's a phenomenally impactful moment, one that brings together everything that we do as an organization, as a team, and really as a community to bring somebody into their home. It's truly a noble mission.
So that video really never gets old, and with me right now I have President and CEO of Pensacola Habitat for Humanity, Sam Young. Thank you so much for joining us again today.
It's great to be back.
Tell us how you reacted to that video the first time that you saw it, and does it ever get old?
You know what, I can't even remember my reaction the first time, but I suspect it was no different than it is every time. I choke up, and it's just a great illustration of the impact that we have, and really demonstrates not only what we do, but more importantly, why we do it. And watching the families and our volunteers and our staff all come together to create these dreams for our families just means so much to me. So it's great.
And that's the cool part, I think, about the Habitat for Humanity model, right? Because we involve so many parts of our community. You mentioned volunteers, and of course, you know, they're kind of the staple of our organization and kind of how we do what we do. So, you know, thank you again for joining us. And I wanted to focus a little bit on that impact that you just talked about and talk a little bit about our home buyer program, talk a little bit about community development, and some of the aggressive goals that have been set and where we are.
Yeah, and it's really a reflection, again, of the whole community coming together. How much impact we are able to have this year. The funding stream has been stabilized, and we are literally doubling the number of homes that we're going to build this year relative to last year. And we couldn't do that without having the community embrace us, without the volunteers continuing to step up each and every day, and then again, our amazing staff, how much they bring to the table. And the impact we're having is greater than just the homes that we're building. As you mentioned, we've got a robust community development program. So we're committed not only to building new homes, but to helping people stay in their existing homes. And we have a critical repair, home repair program. We're building wheelchair ramps. We're doing weatherization. So we're having impact across a number of different areas in the greater Pensacola area.
So do you mind just describing a little bit about kind of high level how our home buyer program works, a little bit about how it's funded, and then also some of the sweat equity and things that
Sure.
our partner families.
Yeah, I think it's important that the audience does understand that, because there's this misconception that somehow we get enough material and volunteers to build a house and then we give it away, and that's very far from the truth. We have a pretty comprehensive program, one in which the home buyer is deeply involved in. They put in about 200 hours of sweat equity and education. So we prepare them for home ownership, because many of them have never lived in a home, and they don't understand necessarily some of the challenges that they're going to face as a homeowner. So we want to make sure that they are as prepared as possible. The program includes a pretty significant subsidy, however, and that is in the form of a low-interest mortgage, and then a second mortgage that covers the difference between the cost of the home and the appraised value of the home. And that mortgage doesn't amortize. We charge no interest. And that's how we reach an affordable home in this very challenging market that we're dealing in right now.
So all of our eligible families, we are ensuring that their mortgage is basically tailored to their circumstances and their situation. And
That's
we
right.
never, our mortgages are written based on the needs of that particular family. And that's really important too for everyone to understand.
Right, but we also need to ensure the sustainability of our business and our operation. So there's a real balance there. And that balance is becoming increasingly difficult as the cost of material, the cost of subcontractors, the cost of land continues to escalate, and it's escalating at a rate much greater than incomes in the Pensacola market.
So you mentioned several of the challenges that I know that we face, and I wanted you to expand a little bit more on that. What are the things that we are doing as staff to try and combat those issues that you just described?
Well, we have a whole department that is out there fundraising, that is out there writing grants, that is out there working with the state and the federal government agencies that support affordable home ownership. And without that funding stream, frankly, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. So that's one way that we are addressing these challenges. The other is we're out there looking for land constantly and doing our best to buy affordable lots that will support the program as well.
And aren't we kind of exploring other things? We're known for single family generally.
Sure. Yeah, we're looking at potentially doing multifamily. We're looking at a land trust as an option. There's a number of things that we're considering. And we have to change the model to some degree, because there's just no chance that we're going to be able to continue at the rate that we are currently operating unless we can address some of those obstacles in front of us.
And so with this growth that we've experienced, you mentioned doubling our impact with the home buyer program in particular, and we'll talk more about community development with Betsy later, but how, if we continue on this pace, we intend to serve the upwards of almost 70 families, is that?
Well, last year, I think we had 27 closings. This year, we're looking at the neighborhood of 55 closings. That's 55 families that are going to wake up on Christmas morning in a new home in Christmas of 2022. And then next fiscal year, we think that we're on pace to do as many as 70 homes. But again, a lot of that's going to depend on the funding and the partnerships and the sponsorships and the municipalities and the community at large coming together and supporting our initiatives.
So as a person watching this, how, in your mind, could people reach out? I mean, we really do have an opportunity for everyone in this community.
Well, I like to use the term time, treasure, or talent. So anybody that wants to help support Pensacola Habitat, you don't need to necessarily write a check. We have people that come in and volunteer their time. We have people that are experts in areas that we need expertise in: land acquisition, finance, accounting. So there is an opportunity for virtually everybody to come in and be a part of and support Pensacola Habitat.
And so the buzzword around town, around the country really, is affordable housing. And, you know, I think it's really, really important to point out that we serve families in Escambia and Santa Rosa counties. And we are really the only game in town with the capacity to serve this many folks.
That's right. Nobody is building at the rate that we are for the income levels that we support. That's exactly right.
And so those subsidies that we provide, I think that individual donors are going to become increasingly important over the next fiscal year. You mentioned that, and also sponsorships for our fundraising events and things of that nature. And so I would definitely encourage you to visit our website, find out a way that you can get on board with Pensacola Habitat for Humanity and support affordable housing in your community. So with that, unless you have anything else to add.
No, what I'd like to do is just thank everybody out there. I know this show gets a pretty broad reach, and I hear from supporters all the time that they saw us on BLAB TV, and I'd like to just thank you for your continued support of Pensacola Habitat.
All right, and with that, we will be right back with Betsy McDonald. Stay with us.
Since 1981, we've built more than 1,300 homes in Escambia and Santa Rosa counties. Love built this home, and love keeps it. Pensacola Habitat for Humanity.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now I'm anything but lonely.
We had this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure love.
I felt accomplished after I got my diploma. Made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
My biggest concern was my daughter's safety. I wasn't gonna invite people over when I saw what their homes looked like.
I didn't know where I was gonna go, what I was gonna do.
We're in darkness, but there's always a little bit of light, and if people help, the light becomes greater.
Just walking into that house was the beginning of a different life.
Find your place to call home? Get started with Pensacola Habitat for Humanity. Call us today.
Welcome back, and we are now here with Betsy McDonald. She is our Director of Programs, and she is brand spanking new to the leadership role here at Pensacola Habitat for Humanity. So thank you so much for joining us.
Of course, thanks for having me, Crystal.
Yes, definitely, definitely. So we are going to talk a little bit about our new HUD counseling initiative, and tell our viewers, a little bit about who the HUD counseling program is meant to benefit, and all of the great things that it's going to do for our community. So tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So HUD Housing Counseling really gives folks an opportunity to connect with a certified HUD housing counselor, or I refer to as an expert on different topics. So they can connect with counselors in a group classroom setting, so with their other peers, and also in a one-on-one setting if they need a more individualized approach to their particular need. So they can connect on a variety of topics, and that includes pre-purchase. So when they are going to buy maybe their first home.
Exciting.
Very exciting time, but also overwhelming time. There's a lot happening. It's negotiating with realtors and understanding the process. So HUD counselors are there to guide folks through that process. So in addition to pre-purchase, they also can get support with budgeting, credit counseling, foreclosure and default prevention, and some other topics as well. So it's a robust program, has a lot of different opportunities to connect with folks.
So it's a really, really exciting time. I mean, we've never done HUD counseling before.
Right.
It's a
brand new program.
I know, it's much needed in our
Very
community. So who does HUD counseling actually benefit? Who are we serving? What are these individuals and families, what do they look like?
Sure, absolutely. So HUD Housing Counseling is really beneficial for the entire community. Anyone is eligible to receive HUD Housing Counseling services. I think the really important part to remember is that HUD counseling really empowers individuals and families to gain or maybe even maintain control of their financial situation or where they're living. So it's really about creating a path for folks to reach their personal financial goals and really just be in a better place than maybe they came to us prior to HUD Housing Counseling.
Right.
So the community, really anyone's eligible.
Yeah, and the cool thing about this program is, it's a program that is open to our entire community. You do not have to necessarily have applied for our home buyer program or applied for community development services. And so this program is completely open to our entire community. If you were a Escambia or Santa Rosa resident.
That's correct.
And that's exciting in itself.
Yeah, and we actually can see folks remotely as well. 2020 COVID pandemic taught us that you can do things virtually.
Right.
So we can see people actually outside of that area as well. I've got someone right now I'm working on that's in the Destin area.
Awesome.
So I can see him virtually.
Awesome.
So really exciting stuff.
So super impactful program, and it is not only for those who may have been in trouble and already own their own home and to prevent foreclosure, but also for pre-purchase. And so, if you are considering applying for assistance or a subsidy through SHIP through the county, you have a required 8-hour course, and Pensacola Habitat for Humanity can provide those services for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And not only SHIP funds, but if you're a lender or you're receiving federal dollars in any capacity, so FHA, USDA, VA loans, they all require that 8-hour pre-purchase home buyer education component. We offer that. So right now we actually are getting ready to roll out that class schedule for 2022. I've got an 8-hour workshop coming up in March, so you can come hang out with me and my other HUD housing counselors for 8 hours and satisfy that requirement. So
love it, love it.
Very exciting.
All of this information is actually available on our website, which is PensacolaHabitat.org. So you can go there and learn about HUD counseling services that we provide, and we really recommend for you to go and just find out about it. Find out a little bit more about whether or not it's a good service for you, and we would just encourage that for our entire community. So we talked a lot about HUD counseling, and I want to talk a little bit of SHIFT because you are also responsible for our amazing community development program.
Yeah, I am.
So talk about the families that we're serving there, and what is the point of community development?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll start there. So the point of community development is really resident-centric, resident-empowered programming. So it's really designed for residents to decide what they want their neighborhood and community to look like. So the key word in community development is community. So we're through that program right now. We are currently offering critical home repair that you heard Sam Young mention, and that is really designed to help keep folks in their home. So we do all kinds of repairs, typically exterior repairs, like roofing, weatherization, HVAC, those types of repairs through there. There's also an educational component. So not only do we want to repair the home, but we want to empower folks with more knowledge than maybe when they came to us. So specifically about weatherization and how you can lower energy costs and energy usage. So those are some of the different programming aspects that we have within community development.
And that's a really exciting program. Most of our viewers know us because of our home buyer program. They know us because of the services that we provide for affordable home ownership. And so community development, in my mind, just really takes it a step further and allows for us to serve more of our community just in a different way. And so I really, really love that program and what all you guys have been able to do in developing that program. We have some very, very strong community partners, and we are always looking for support from an individual donor that wants to support these projects. We also are completing wheelchair ramps. And tell us a little bit more about what we're exploring with the kind of Aging in Place initiative, the Housing Plus stuff.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
Talk a little bit about that.
We really want to serve groups that are possibly at risk of needing to move out of their home for various reasons. Typically that's the senior population that's aging, and we like to call that aging in place. So we really want to keep folks where they are at. And that's through those small repairs that make the world of a difference. Hand grabs in a shower, ramps inside of the home, maybe from one level to the next. It's a pretty common one that we see. But it's really going to keep seniors that are 65 plus safe in their homes. They can age comfortably there instead of having to move into an assisted living facility. So that programming is coming up here soon. I think we're going to be rolling that out really soon. So we're looking for folks to sponsor and donate for that program specifically. And soon we'll be making a call out to the community to apply and see if they're eligible for those services. But really exciting stuff. It's important to keep folks in their home.
Awesome. And so we talked a little bit about some of our partners, and I wanted to also mention our partners that we have found in Brace and talk a little bit about disaster. We have storms.
We do.
We have storms here.
Yeah.
And so talk a little bit about that and how we've been able to form additional partners with Brace and some of these other organizations to assist our community post-disaster, to prepare our community.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we are a part of the long-term recovery group here in Escambia County. Brace is an active member there. So we partner with them to ensure that our community is prepared to weather a storm and also to recover quickly. It can be quite difficult. It's really chaotic after a storm, as we all know from living here. Mm-hmm. So it's important to know what you need to have in order to be prepared. Right after, I think it was Hurricane Sally, we distributed a number of tarps for folks to, try to protect the roof so there's not further damage inside the home. So we are constantly approaching things from that way and really looking for innovative partnerships to ensure that we are providing wraparound services to the community through this holistic approach rather than just one part of the puzzle. Right. So those community partners really help us achieve that.
Yeah. And homeownership preservation is how I kind of describe community development.
Absolutely.
We are really striving to allow, you mentioned Aging in Place, and so all of these kind of sub-programs for the community development program are reaching and trying to figure out ways that we can keep that homeowner inside of that home. And so it's great work, and I think that you're doing an amazing job. And it's just something that's been really beneficial for our entire community as well. And so if you are somebody that might need some of these services, again, I would encourage you to visit our website and find out more about that. We've got a couple of minutes left, and I threw this question in here. I usually ask Sam, but we ran out of time. But I want, from your perspective, kind of what are you most excited about for this upcoming year?
Yeah, I am really just so excited about bringing these innovative products and services to our community. not only are we building those 55 homes, as Sam mentioned, we're having these critical home repairs, we're also adding these HUD housing counseling services and really taking a holistic approach to our community. So I'm super excited to just be a part of that. And also being back in our community is just really exciting for me. I returned to Pensacola about a year ago. So I'm really just excited to reconnect with the community and do a lot of learning and listening as we kind of enter this new chapter of innovative approaches and, just really wanting things to be resident-driven, resident-led through our community development program. We're reacting to this changing housing market and environment for our homebuyer program. And then the cherry on top of all of that is this HUD housing counseling initiative that really can meet folks where they're at and help them get to the next place. So that's a long answer.
No.
I'm excited about a lot.
No, I love it. And it's a really, really exciting time for Pensacola Habitat for Humanity. We have got so many different things and so many irons in the fire, and we are just all just as passionate as you. We have a staff of nearly 50 folks, and we have that in common as a staff. We are all excited to be here. We're excited to serve our community, and I couldn't be more excited to have you. And I appreciate you coming on. And so as we wrap up with Betsy, I want to thank everyone for watching, and I would encourage you, if you want to learn more about our programs, the services that Pensacola Habitat for Humanity provides for our community, head on over to our website. That's pensacolahabitat.org. You can call us, 850-434-5456, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have about any of the services that we're providing. Again, we appreciate it, and look forward to seeing you next time.
You made her college years possible, opening that education savings account when she was little, spearheading campus tours, and deciphering financial aid. If you can ace planning for college, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org.